What's up, ladies and gents? You know what time of day it is. It's Zebec time, and in today's video we're going to be talking all about Zebec. We're going to be discussing what we're seeing here on the charts, and I'll be giving you guys my price prediction for Zebec over the coming days and weeks, as well as my targets for 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you all here. So, of course, diving straight into this video, we're going to start off with the shorter term on Zebec and then talk about this bull run targets. Of course, right now we are on the 1 day chart, and since our video yesterday, have a look at that beautiful daily candle that Zebec has put in. Probably one of the largest bullish candles that we've seen here on Zebec for quite some time. And of course, the really good news is that we have broken out of a consolidation pattern, and so in the shorter term, over the coming days and weeks here for Zebec, we could see prices go much higher. So let's talk about the breakout that we have just seen here on Zebec. Of course, what we've been watching here on this channel now for quite some time has been this consolidation that has happened since May here on Zebec. So we've been watching this upper resistance line that looks something a little bit like this, and we've also been watching a support that looks a bit like this. Now you guys can see that this upper resistance line has been tested on lots of different occasions, twice at the very start there in May, a few more times here in August, and yet another time here, and just recently, as of yesterday, have a look at that, we have seen a breakout to the upside. And what that means is that we might have seen a breakout from this triangle pattern that you see on the screen. And if that is the case, guys, that is extremely bullish here for Zebec, because that means that we could be looking at a price target of the distance between the first test of support down here to the first test of resistance up here. If we drag this measuring tool to where we see that breakout happen, you guys can see that we are looking at a price target here of 0.014. So of course that is a 213% upside from where we saw the breakout. And as prices currently stand, that is almost 200% to the upside. So roughly a 3x from here. So we can expect quite a bit of upside here on Zebec if this triangle is to be respected. Of course, I do think that this could happen within the next few days to the next few weeks. So do look out for Zebec if you are not yet a holder. Now, of course, in the shorter term, if I just go on the 4-hour chart, you guys might have noticed that we are seeing a little bit of selling pressure as prices make their way higher, but that again is to be expected because there's a few other things that we've been monitoring here on this channel as well. The first of which are these fib levels that have come across Zebec. You can see that right now the prices are struggling with this upper gray line here, which is a strong resistance, the 1.272 fib. You can see that prices have come up to this level on lots of different occasions. So right now we are seeing yet another test of this fib level as a resistance. If prices can get above this fib level, then I don't see anything stopping Zebec getting up to 0.0064, and beyond there we should be making our way up to that price target from this triangle pattern. Now, just another note as well about this triangle that I want to share with you guys. Of course, I drew the resistance like this. This is a strong way, in my opinion, to draw it because it encompasses all the highs that we've seen since May. But another way that we can draw this upper resistance line looks something like this. And if this is the case, what we are seeing here on Zebec, and if this is the case, then it means we have not yet broken out. It justifies the fact that we are seeing this as a bit of resistance. But then what I would expect for Zebec for the coming days is for the price to consolidate a bit at this resistance before we see a clear breakout. So we've got scenario one, which I showed you before, with the upper resistance going down a little bit more like this. I do think that has a slightly higher likelihood of it being correct, but we could also be seeing something like this, and time will tell. If we see the next few days with Zebec kind of just consolidating like this will probably favor a scenario where the triangle looks a bit more like this instead. And of course, we'd have to wait a little bit longer for that breakout, but nonetheless, once we see that breakout, the price target is the same and we should see some bullish resumption. So, of course, things in the shorter term, in my opinion, are looking absolutely smashing here for Zebec. Of course, if you guys want to get $10 completely free to buy some Zebec before we see that price target hit, then don't forget to check out the MEX exchange. As you guys can see, they're giving every new user who signs up using the link in the description down below $10 to get started. Now, this exchange does not require KYC. The only thing you need to do to get that $10 after making your account is to deposit some fiat currency or crypto into it, and then that $10 is yours straight away. So you can use it, like I say, to buy some Zebec, or you can also use it to long or short Zebec with up to 20 times leverage. Again, link for this exchange is in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Let's get back into this video. So just to summarize that quickly, in the shorter term, we could be seeing two potential triangles, one looking like this, where we've already seen a breakout. Things to support that include this massive green candle that we saw yesterday. That is a breakout candle in my opinion, but we could also be seeing this upper resistance looking a bit more like this, which would indicate that we are right by the resistance at the moment. Now, of course, when we look at Zebec for the 2025 targets, I do think that prices are still able to go much higher here on Zebec. So essentially, if I pop those fibs back up here on the screen, we know that these fib levels are places where Zebec likes to find support and resistance. Like most recently, for example, as we said, the prices have come up to this 1.272 fib to test it as a resistance. You can see that Zebec has a pattern of using these fib levels to find places of resistance. So essentially, as Zebec goes to make new all-time highs this bull run, I do think that these fib levels could be good places where we might find some sort of top here on Zebec. And my price targets for 2025 here on Zebec is this 2.618 fib that sits at 0.046, and my second price target, if things get extremely bullish here in crypto, is 0.1. So these two are basically my ambitious targets here for Zebec in 2025. If you're feeling a little bit more conservative and you're looking for a price target that has a higher likelihood of being hit, then just these fibs here, this 2 fib at 0.017 and that price target from that triangle I showed you earlier at 0.014 are also very decent price targets to have here for Zebec. Now, of course, if you're feeling extremely ambitious, we've got this 3.618 fib here as well that tells us we could see 0.23 here on Zebec. So this is a very, very ambitious target if you're feeling extremely bullish here on Zebec. But my two main ones, like I say, these two in this region. Now, there's plenty of reasons, in my opinion, to still be bullish here for Zebec during this bull run. First of which is when we look at Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin yesterday made a brand new all-time high. You can see that prices are really pushing for another new all-time high. We are 125K. When Bitcoin is doing well, the whole market is going to be doing well as well. And having a look at Bitcoin, there's only been one direction for Bitcoin, and that has been up. Of course, if we have a look at Ethereum, this is also very important because this is the largest altcoin. So if we see the largest altcoin doing well, we're going to see smaller altcoins like Zebec also doing very well. And here in Ethereum, I do think we're looking at a beautiful triangle pattern that's formed over 5 years. We have seen a breakout to the upside that occurred in August, and with that dip that we saw in September, the prices came down to test this upper resistance as a support before prices bounced and started heading higher. Now, of course, the price target for this triangle sits in the 5-figure range, and if Ethereum makes it to that, that's going to be very bullish here for altcoins like Zebec. Additionally as well, we've got this chart, the total free market cap, and have a look at where we are on this chart. I don't know if you guys can see it, but with this weekly candle that we are seeing, let's just put it on the 1-day chart. With this 1-day chart, with this 1-day candle that we are seeing here, we potentially might be breaking out to the upside from this ascending triangle that we have on the total free. Now, this is important because this is the total market cap of the whole of crypto minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if the price target from this triangle pattern is to be hit, we should see this swell up to well over $4 trillion. So that's roughly about a 3.5x from where the market cap currently is. Now, that's if this triangle is to be respected, but if we do see that clear breakout, there is a higher likelihood that we could see this price target hit. And of course, if it is, the implication of that means that on average, cryptos outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do about a 3.5x from the point of breakout. So if we translate that onto the Zebec chart, Let's go on this one. We can see that a 3.5x from where the prices currently are actually puts Zebec pretty close to where these fib levels are. In fact, the 3.5x for Zebec literally is 0.017 right by this 2 fib here. So in my opinion, if Zebec performs averagely, we should still see Zebec get up to 0.017. Now, of course, on this channel, we believe that Zebec is going to perform above average. There's plenty of reasons to be technically and fundamentally bullish about the token. So this, in my opinion, could be seen as a base case for an optimist here on Zebec, 0.017, where the 2 fib actually lies. Now, of course, like I say, my personal price target 0.046 and 0.1 are going to have the best possible chance of being hit when we see these two figures here on CoinMarketCap get as close to 100 as possible. So this is something to pay attention to, because right now we are at 59 and 67. So we are starting to creep up to that point. We are not there yet, but when we get these two close to 100, that means there is euphoria in the markets. It means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, and that's the kind of environment where we do these 5x's, 10x's, even 100x's in the shortest space of time. And it's going to give Zebec the best possible chance of going completely parabolic like it did back in May to get to these upper price targets that we discussed earlier. So of course, that pretty much sums up my thoughts here for Zebec. Just a whole comment on the rest of the crypto market as well. Things, in my opinion, are looking absolutely smashing for quite a few other tokens as well. I'm going to drop a few just on the end of this video as well. HBAR, for example, we are seeing this falling wedge pattern. This is something you should keep an eye on, because if we do see a breakout to the upside, we could see prices of 0.3 as a result from this falling wedge. Or if we treat it as a bull flag, we could be going even higher to 0.4. I really love how the HBAR chart looks. Another one as well that I really liked was Algorand for the same reason. We have seen another falling wedge pattern on the Algorand chart that looks a little bit like this. You can see that prices have been kind of trending downwards for the past few months. We did see that parabolic move before, and I do think that if we see a breakout to the upside, we could see 0.32 on Algorand as a result of this as well. So two really nice looking charts just as a bonus on the end of this video. Of course, guys, thank you so much for watching this. Do let me know down in the comments if you're a holder here for Zebec. Of course, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.